Former Pan African Congress of Azania President Narius Moloto has suffered another legal blow. This after the South Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg ruled the election of Mzwanele Nyhontso as the president of the PAC in 2019 as being lawful and valid. It further directed the Electoral Commission of South Africa to allow the PAC, under the leadership of Nyhontso, to participate in the upcoming elections. Moloto was elected PAC president in a conference held in Limpopo in 2019. Well, for more on this, we're now joined by Zoom by Mr. Mzwanele Nyhontso, who's the president of the PAC. Thank you very much indeed for joining us and welcome to the program. All right, can you just unmute the button on your screen there? Just press unmute. We can hear you now. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Peter, and greetings to your viewers.
All right, so does this finally put a close to this chapter where the leadership of the party had been put into question?
Yes, that chapter now has been closed. It's time for the PAC to rebuild. It's time for the PAC to do what it was formed for. The liberation of our people, to do what we were formed for, the return of the land. So yes, indeed, it is true now, and it's all in the past. It has been a long 13 to 14 years when the PAC was in one place, being taken in court by one man, and at last the court has ruled in our favor. And we welcome that decision.
You must have been disappointed, though, that this had caused, I won't say a split, but rifts in the party. What is the state of the party now as a result of this court action that's been running for so long?
We're not only disappointed, we're angry. We're angry because in this show, fortunately, Peter, you were the one sometime in 2019, you were saying the IEC at last has recognized the leadership as elected in Bloemfontein as the legitimate leadership of the PAC. And with reason that we do not know, and for the reason that we could not even understand, that decision was changed. And the damage this has done to the PAC is more than the damage that the apartheid did to the PAC. And this damage was done by one man who was doing the same thing to former President Mphahlele, former President Mbeki, former President Mbinda, and we've been doing this for the past 13 years. Yes, it has done a damage to this organization. But I can assure you, in the branches of the PAC, where masses reside, the PAC is growing and the PAC is ready to take its rightful place in the politics of Azania.
Is Mr. Moloto still a member of the PAC?
That one was expelled by the PAC in 2019 after he disregarded and undermined and did not want to adhere with the court judgment of Mavunda J, which was giving the PAC an opportunity to unite, which was giving the PAC an opportunity to grow, which was giving the PAC and PAC wearing factions an opportunity to sit and talk to each other. We expelled him, but with reasons we do not understand, with reasons we do not know. We saw the parliament taking letters from him, and from there we're back in court again. Thanks to this judgment today. It is very clear, well written. It means the judge did read papers very well.
What did Mr. Moloto put forward as his argument that he should be the leader of the party? What was he arguing?
I never, ever hear any argument from Moloto ever since he came to PAC and destabilized it. Never had any argument. He always thrived on technicalities. He always won in court by using technicalities, by telling lies. He always go to court with things that are not even in the papers. He never dealt with merits. And for the first time when we're dealing with merits, the judgment was this clear. So he never had a valid argument, not in any court of this country. That I can assure you, there was never any argument. Anyway, Peter, you must know the legitimacy to lead PAC can only be drawn from the branches and structures of the PAC. It cannot be drawn from the court. From the court, we're getting the validity and legality of the leadership. Everybody is staying here in Azania. Everybody knows who is doing events of the PAC. We are always doing events. We are all over the country. We are all over the provinces. We never saw Moloto in any of the provinces, but yet he still claimed to be the leader of the PAC. So there was no argument. He did not put forward any argument.
So what's the way forward now? I mean, this great party of Robert Sobukwe, once a great leader of the political conversation in this country, and it must be said that you're not at that same level of glory as in past years. What are you going to do to resurrect the party to its once great heights?
First things first, Peter. First thing, we will go back to the branches of the PAC, back to basics. Go there and form strong PAC branches. Any organization can only be strong if the branches of that organization are viable. We'll go back to the branches of the PAC, revive branches of the PAC. We will take programs of the PAC. We take PAC to the masses where it belongs. We will participate to the local government elections, but we know the item of conflict has always been the land. We know what the PAC stands for. We will march forward tomorrow, tomorrow, the United States of Africa. We will go to independence through PAC. We will go to the masses of this country. We will take the land in this country through the PAC, because we are the only ones who understand what it means to talk about land question. That's what the PAC is going to focus on. We are ready to do that. We are ready to take the well. We are ready to take on this current government. We are ready to unite this organization. We are ready to liberate the Azanian masses.
You have one seat in the National Assembly, which suggests that the people have spoken quite loudly in terms of who they think best represents them when it comes to the land question, wouldn't you say?
No. We will get more seats in Parliament now that this impasse is over. We'll get more seats in Parliament now that this person who was destabilizing the growth of this organization is no longer in this organization. We'll get better once the people of this country have confidence in the. Remember what we were doing, or what this man was doing to this organization. People were not having confidence. So we are going to get better. We're going to get more seats. Remember, PAC is the people, and PAC and people are PAC. We're going to get more seats. We're going to address the land question.
But what does it say about your party that it could be held to ransom by one person?
No, it was not held at ransom by one person. It was held at ransom by the courts, because the courts agreed to take whatever this one person has been doing. So we're in this problem because the courts of this land decided to entertain one person who have been falsely claiming to be the leader of the PAC without it being him asked questions. This one person and took PAC to ransom, not because this one person has power, but because this one person was given ear by the people who hold top positions in these organizations like SABC and the courts of the land.
There's a whole generation of South Africans who were born after 1994 who perhaps will struggle to know who Robert Sobukwe was and what the PAC stood for. They understand the land question, but other parties in recent times, like the EFF, have spoken quite loudly about the land question. How do you persuade young voters, as president now, that PAC, the party formed 1959 under the great Robert Sobukwe, can represent their ideas in the 2020s?
Firstly, Peter, we must agree that young people in this country, more especially students, the PAC is a very strong student organization, PASMA. And PASMA in some of the institutions, here in Eastern Cape, Western Cape, they are in charge. But nobody is talking about that. Not even a single media house announces when PASMA won elections. But when other parties do, they always do. And we are going to, young people of this country understand the language of the PAC. And they understand, we tell them every day that they must not be misled. They must not be called born free. They were not born free, because this country is not free. And we are taking that message across. And the people now understand what Sobukwe did. And in fact, anyone who wants to be relevant in the politics of this country, you must mention Sobukwe. You must mention what the PAC did. You must mention the struggle credentials of the PAC and other giants like Sobukwe, Pogela, Mtupeng, and others, not only Sobukwe. And that is what we are doing. We have a viable student movement, and because of these problems, they were not seen, because SABC and other media houses were not even televising when PASMA won an institution of higher learning, and even that one alone, it means we need more answers than questions. We want to know why PASMA is not even televised when they win elections. So we have youth on our side, we have viable youth. Even the deputy president of this organization is a young person. People, many of our NEC members are young people. So youth of this country understand what the PAC stands for, and they are ready to take the PAC forward.
When the PAC was formed, it was literally about land, and it was just about black people. And I think there was a reluctance to even allow white people to join the party. Where are you now in terms of multiculturalism within the PAC?
No. The PAC has always been about Africans. The PAC was never about black people. The PAC has always been about Africans. And the PAC has always been a non-racial organization. And the PAC founders were very clear that we belong to one race, the human race. In fact, it was Sobukwe himself who came with this term of non-racialism when everybody was talking about multiracialism, when everybody was saying even the word non-racialism was not even in the English dictionary. It was Sobukwe himself who first came with that name. In fact, it was also the PAC that says to be an African, you don't have to be white or black, but you must pay your loyalty and allegiance to Africa and Mother Africa alone, irrespective of color or creed, irrespective of the shape of your nose. The PAC was never a racist organization. The PAC has always been about human beings, and the PAC has always been about Africans and loyalty and allegiance to Africa.
All right, President Nyhontso, and we wish you and your party the best now that you have your legal issues behind you. And let's hope that people will listen to your message as the local government elections beckon.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you so much.